Hello, good morning, and here we are, week 100. And as promised, my darling wife Teresa is here with me to give her input onto, well, this journey that we're both in together with dementia. Now, it's up to ourselves to look after ourselves a little bit, and I do the bit by keeping myself fit by doing all the cycling and that sort of thing. But Teresa is the one who does the cooking and the preparation of the food, and she's the one who prepares everything now from scratch. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit about what she does, because without her doing that foodie bit, I probably wouldn't be as good as I am now. So yeah, over to you.
Well, I made a decision over a year ago to do the best for Peter via what we eat. So I cook almost completely from scratch, no ready meals, no processed food most of the time. So we're having loads of veg, loads of spices, lentils, all things that I didn't eat that much of before. I'm keeping saturated fat to a minimum. Even though Peter, because the amount of calories he burns up on the penny farthing, he can get away with eating a piece of cake, whereas I try to avoid that. But I don't stop Peter having it. But his meals are healthy, even if he has a few calories via his snacks.
The thing is that there's a lot goes on behind the scenes of all of this. I sit and do a video every week about stuff that affects me and us and that sort of thing. But you know, we can only work as a team together, and without the support of people like partners and carers, for the want of a better word, we couldn't function as well as we do. Now, another classic example is that if we're out in the street, because Teresa knows me better than anybody, and she has obviously been with me through this journey from when I was 47, was I sort of when you first
That's when
noticed
I first
things?
noticed, yeah.
Then she's gradually got as many coping strategies as I have during that period of time. So meeting people in the street, she knows that I don't know who these people are, and yet she also knows that I wing it very, very well, whereas strangers wouldn't know that. And you want to say something a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if you do meet Peter in the street,
or anybody,
don't assume that he knows who you are, because he'll come across like he does, and he is actually winging it. He might not know who you are. He'll recognise you. He knows that he knows you, but he won't be able to recall your name. So my bit of advice is, if you can put your name into the conversation, or the name of your partner or your brother or anyone that's going to trigger a memory for Peter, it will mean that he actually does know who he's talking to, because he's so good at going along with the flow that you'll walk away and you'll think, oh, there's not much wrong with Peter, he was perfectly all right, but the fact is he doesn't even remember who you are.
No, and those are the sort of things that people don't always understand. They see this show person, they see the outside, but it's only people like Teresa who actually, and other partners, husbands, wives, or whatever, that actually see the real us. And I think the issues that we have over the due course of the day. I mean, you prepare all the meals and you get everything ready for me to do because you work 3 days a week. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
But you help me. I mean, Peter's brilliant at food prep. If I tell him to cut up a pepper or a swede, or I do sometimes get a butternut squash instead of a swede, but I just quickly change the recipe. But
I buy the wrong thing sometimes.
But we do a lot of cooking together, but it's me who's finding the recipes for us to cook. But I bulk cook, so I cook on a Sunday enough to see us through certainly a Monday and a Tuesday, so that when I come home from work, all Peter's got to do is heat up something I've already cooked, because Peter likes to help and I want to come home to good food and not ready meals. So that's the way we work at, and we cook together a lot now, don't we?
Teresa is the engine driver, and I'm just the stoker. That's what it's gone down to. She's the one who says cuts these amount of carrots, or do the potatoes or whatever, and I just do the quantity and whatever she tells me, whether it's 1 onion, 2 or whatever. So without that instruction I couldn't actually do that, but it's her that gives the instructions, her with the ideas. She's the one who is, as I say, the engine driver, and I've just become the stoker. Everything is prepared, and then you write everything down on a whiteboard, and then we have prompt reminders from the
Alexa.
That's it, yeah. Prompt reminders from that, but everything is written down. What times I've got to put things in, and
the oven temperature, and what day it is, what time I'll be home. But again, I try not to write too much, because Pete can't process too much information, so I try and keep it relatively short, but it will just say Monday, what we're having for tea, how to heat it up, and what we're having with it, and what time I'll be home. That's basically what it says.
I think the reality is, if it's not written, it doesn't get done, and that's as simple as that. So if it's written on the board, it gets done, as far as I'm concerned. If it's not written, then it never existed, and it just doesn't happen. It's and I suppose over the last, how many years has it been diagnosed?
4 years.
4 years. I suppose over the last 4 years things have changed, and I don't think there's been any real dramatic changes. I don't think, except I don't do social media like I did, and I've become more of a, I don't know, more of a person who wants to just ride my bike and do things outside and live the simple life. But I don't know. I mean, be honest. Have you noticed that much, or has it been relatively good to a degree? Do I get more frustrated with things?
You do get frustrated, and you did yesterday, because yesterday, for the first time in 26 years, Peter lost the key to our garage, and couldn't.
Is that why the lock was out?
Yes.
Right, okay, yeah. I wondered.
Had you not remembered that?
No, I didn't know. No, I wondered why the lock was broken, and I thought maybe I'd broken it.
We spent the day searching in places where we even know it's not going to be.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with your logic, though. I was at the point of calling a locksmith, because my bike's locked up in there and I want to go cycling later.
My logic is a big hammer.
So, no, you managed to open it. I don't quite know what you did do, but you...
No, I don't know. I know
but you sussed it,
I had to break it.
And you've ordered a new lock.
Yes, yeah.
So, we got through that, but I did notice how frustrated you were getting, and this is where I keep quiet, because I think if I'd have said too much, it would have fooled... not that we don't really argue, do we, but... a little bit, but I know my strategy is to let you get on with it, work it out in your own way, and you still impress me how you get through it.
I think some of the trouble is that sometimes, I mean, we don't argue as such, but sometimes if
yes, we do.
No, we don't. if Teresa is quiet, it might be because she's a bit down or something like that. But sometimes I often think to myself, have I done something or said something that I have then forgotten about? And then I'm not really sure if we've had an argument or not really, because I'm in this little Peter Berry bubbly world, and Teresa is in the bigger world. I'm seeing little bits of the picture, and she's seeing the big landscape. So I'm not always sure whether I've done something wrong or not, or whether we've had a full-blown argument the day before or that morning, and it's all disappeared. So I'm not really sure.
We don't have many full-blown.
No, we don't actually.
And there ain't no point really if you're not going to remember it anyway. There isn't really no point in us having a full-blown argument. No. So I've sort of changed my strategies. I keep quiet.
Yeah, and I'm sure that that's a lesson maybe for many others, or many other people do that. Just let it run its course, and we'll probably sort things out in our own way with this condition. And if we don't, well, hey, we don't. You know, it's one of those things.
There's no good me keep going on about something that you've forgotten. It's a pointless exercise all round. So, you know, as hard as it is for women to keep quiet sometimes, that is what I have to do.
But I mean, apart from that, I think with this condition, we've got on okay with it, and we've coped. We've created.
We have ways,
strategies to cope with day-to-day problems.
We do. I mean, you still can do things, and I know what your capabilities are, and as long as you can keep doing, I'm going to keep letting you, because it's better for you. You know, you fixed my mum's aerial the other week. You know, you are still capable of doing many things. Yeah,
and I think that it's like all these things, we as a couple and individuals have got to focus on the things we can do. But it's also important, Teresa does a lot, or tries to do stuff for herself, and that's another important issue. And I know that we've now done 10 minutes, but you know what, it's not very often I get her on camera, so I'm going to make the most of it while she's here.
It'll be a long time before it happens again.
Yeah, the next 100th video, I reckon. But you think it's very important for you to do you stuff and have you time, isn't it?
It's taken me a long time to reach the point where I know that I now need to make time for myself, and it seems very selfish when your partner's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and all of a sudden you've got to think of yourself. And it took me a long time to realise that, and it's only the last year since I started cooking from scratch. I've also gone off for a walk by myself every day. I love to walk, and I find, like Peter leaves his dementia on the settee at home when he goes cycling, I find that I leave dementia at home when I walk in the countryside, and I come back a better person for that. So
I have a dementia monster, and so does Teresa, and hers is me.
We leave them at home fighting if we both go out cycling.
Yeah, we do, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, and I think it is important to look after ourselves, not just for me, but for Teresa as well, because she's a big part. I suppose the reality is that she could operate very well without me, no problem at all. But I can't operate very well without her.
I'm not sure that I could.
A certain, well, I think you could. So it is really.
I think we're going to have an argument.
We probably are, yeah. I think the idea is that the carers, the people, our loved ones, family, whatever, have to make time for themselves. Now, I'm lucky because I can go cycling with Debs, and that's great. I can do that, and Teresa's at work, and she knows that somebody is out there looking after me, and that's important for you, isn't it?
It is. It lessens my anxiety about leaving you, because I leave for work before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't get home till gone 5, so it's a long time. So it does lessen my anxiety, but I want you to have some fun and get something out of your day while I'm not around. So if you're cycling, I know you're happy, and that helps me.
Yeah, good. Okay, so that's 13 minutes. One last thing I think to say, unless there's anything you want to say, anything else?
No, I think I've said quite enough.
I won't stop there, folks, trust me. The programme that I was involved in before Christmas, was it? The Restaurant
and
That Makes
after.
Mistakes, is going to be aired on Channel 4, and I did put it on the page, but I thought I might as well say it here as well, and the date.
The 12th of June at 9 o'clock.
Okay. And
Channel 4.
Channel 4, yeah. 12th of
Restaurant
June,
That Makes
9
Mistakes.
o'clock. And it's a 4-week series, so that's week 1. So, please do watch it, because, it's sort of disappeared a little bit from my memory now, if I'm really honest, and I'm sure it has for many others, the other 13 that were involved. But it is important. It shows dementia in a different light. It shows that we still have a purpose and that we can still achieve. And I think that, from what I can remember, we achieved a lot, and I made some wonderful friends. And having that peer support was something that was important to all of us, I think. And it's not about fame. It's just about raising awareness and trying to change employers' way of thinking about dementia.
And not just employers, but everybody's perspective.
Yeah, everyone's
dementia.
perspective. So let's hope some good things come out of that. Well, there we are. Sorry about the light, but it's so bright outside that the camera just doesn't like it, so it's toned down.
I prefer it dark, actually.
It looks as though we've got great tens. But me and my technical limitations, I have no idea how to make it any brighter, so I'm afraid you just have to go with the raw thing. So, well, there we are. That's week 100. Yeah, it doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since I started doing these videos.
I can't believe how they've taken off. And
no, and I'm still here and still doing it.
I know, that's amazing. Absolutely,
and we got the
amazing.
cycle challenge coming up in the next few weeks, so I'll talk more about that next week. And well, it just remains to say, have a great weekend, have a wonderful week, and yeah, I'll try and get my wife back again here on camera, because I'm sure it's...
For the 200th.
For the 200th. I'm sure it's something that interests people on how somebody like a partner actually copes with these things. You know, if you have any questions about how Teresa copes or whatever, send them the email to, or message or whatever to the page, Peter Barry Living with Alzheimer's, and we'll do our best to answer them, and I'll try and answer them next week, because typing is something that I can't do anymore. So yeah, so if you have any questions, do answer them, and Debs will keep them for me, and then I'll try and answer them. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody. You can give a wave?
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.